Hello, welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Gracie and I'm here with my co-host Celine. We are a motorsport podcast and we had some racing this weekend with Indycar. So we're going to discuss the Indycar race in Markham. New track,
New track, new
lots,
location.
new track, new location, and lots going on with it. So we'll be discussing the race in Markham in Canada for Indycar, talking about all about that. A little bit of F1 summer break jazz.
Yeah, very small hit.
light. Yeah. Yes, let's get into it. Let's pop the bottle and get right into the episode.
Woohoo, let's do it.
Yeah, before we get too deep into it though, make sure you're subscribed and following us and go over to our socials, follow us there. We've got Substack, we've got TikTok, we've got Twitter, we've got Threads, we've got
Instagram.
YouTube, Spotify. Guys, make sure you're there.
Make sure you're there. I don't want to miss anything.
No, seriously. What else would you be doing?
What else would you be doing?
Right. Okay, let's talk about it. Well, first we'll talk a little bit about F1 summer break because coming up next week is the Dutch Grand Prix, which very special to us. I think we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
That was both the first F1 race that we watched
live.
Yeah. And Celine watched 2022 and that's when she started watching, and then I watched 2023 and the rest is history.
Yeah, so we're coming up on my 4-year anniversary, your 3-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's so crazy.
I'm just still shocked I never watched any F1 when I was younger.
Yeah, it seemed right up your alley, right up your dad's alley,
no,
honestly.
Right?
I'm shocked your dad didn't watch F1.
I'm very shocked. I asked him about it one time and he said, I don't know, they were always on at weird times.
That's actually so fair, though.
Yeah.
That's so fair.
He wasn't waking up at 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
No, he's not dedicated like we are.
Well, yes.
Dedicated, obsessed. Some
dedicated.
Call it different things.
Dedicated.
We call it dedicated.
Passionate.
We're passionate fans.
Yeah, we sure are.
But yeah, it's crazy. We were actually talking with one of our friends who we haven't seen in years. And he did say that he listened. So Drew, if you're listening, shout out to you. And he was talking about it, and he's like, oh, I didn't realize how long it had been since I've had a conversation with them. But he's like, oh, I've seen you've been getting into the racing stuff. And I was like, getting into it. I was like, it just feels like I've been a fan my whole life. But then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, I guess, yeah, the last time I haven't seen you, I didn't.
Yeah, we were just getting into it.
I was like, what did I do with my free time before I was into racing?
I had phases. I could tell you my phases.
Go ahead, name them.
Right before F1 I was really into reading. I still am really into reading, but in my free time I was picking up my Kindle. I had books on deck, and now I'm oh, okay,
casually.
Yeah, casually. And then before that, COVID times, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I went through. I mean, I still love Harry Potter.
Yeah, I
definitely during COVID, I was huge in Harry Potter. I also had a huge reading phase, but we almost swapped. You had your Harry Potter phase when I had my reading phase, because I had my reading phase when I was still living up here, right when COVID started, nonstop reading, and then 2020, and then we kind of switched where you got into reading and I got more into Harry Potter.
And start of my reading phase, start of before COVID times, Harry Styles.
Oh yeah, Harry Styles.
And Harry Styles and One Direction have always been there, trust me. But right. I remember right before COVID, it's something reignited in me.
Yeah. We also had we both have had obviously Marvel.
That was also pretty strong during COVID.
Yeah. All of our phases overlap. There were a couple phases. You had a streamer phase.
Okay, we will have to talk about that. Sorry. That was also my depression era during COVID.
You had a streamer phase. I never got into streamers. I'm trying to think if there was anything that I was into that you weren't.
Oh, I also watched a few animes that you never.
Yeah, I never did it. I never really got into animes.
For the most part, we like the same things.
Yeah, I can't think of anything for a while. It was that I was really into F1 and you weren't, and I tried so hard and it just wasn't working. And then one day it clicked.
You know what you needed?
That's all about persistence.
You needed one of my phases to take a settle because I had finished Fourth Wing, and the next book wasn't out yet, and I had nothing to do. And then I was
and I saw her when she was vulnerable.
I couldn't find a new book to read,
and I said, I know exactly how to get this girl. And then I showed her. Well, I was already talking about F1 nonstop, even when she wasn't into it. But other than that, yeah, hasn't really been a phase where I've gotten into it and you haven't.
Yeah.
Like also shared that interest.
I guess I know kind of hockey.
Yeah, you're into hockey. I'm like casual, like very casually into hockey. I'm not into tennis.
Oh, tennis.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I feel like like some of the shows I haven't watched the show. Like I haven't watched The Pit.
Yeah, The Pit. I had a huge The Pit phase. Ted Lasso. I finally got you to watch Ted Lasso, but you need
Oh,
to finish it.
I do need to finish Ted
because
Lasso.
now season 4 is out and it's the women's team.
Shut up! I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh my god, you have to catch
because
up.
I got to the final episode of season 2 and I remember it was late at night and I was like, I don't want to watch right now. I need to be really like I would need to be focused.
Yeah.
So coming to the last episode.
You need to be in a safe space.
I did need to be in a safe space, and I just like. And then it lost me for a bit, and I haven't caught back up.
Okay, you need to actually finish watching season 3 and then catch up so that you can start watching the season 4 episodes live with me, so we can text about them.
Did we start watching? You maybe watched Ted Lasso on an airplane. Was that to Vegas last year?
It may have been.
There's no way. It's almost been a year.
It may have been. Where else have we flown together?
I haven't. Have we flown this year? Have I traveled this year?
I have, but I don't. Have you?
I don't think so.
We didn't go anywhere in May that needed a flight. Yeah, I think it must have been Vegas.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you really need to get on
that.
Yeah,
I really have got to get on that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, enough about us.
Enough about us. Let's get to motorsport.
Well, it's our own podcast.
Yeah, and you know what? We could talk for an hour about us.
Our hyperfixations.
About our hyperfixations. But let's hone in on the current one.
On our current one, yeah. We brought up Zandvoort because this is the last race at Zandvoort that we currently know of.
Right.
Zandvoort will not be on a calendar schedule. It's not being rotated in like Spa. So Max has made a special helmet and special merch for the Dutch Grand Prix Zandvoort because that's, it's from where he's from. It's so cute.
It's really cute. Also, he tweeted and was like, for my last home race, and everyone was like, everyone in the comments was like, what? Last home race? Is he retiring? And everyone's like, no, Zandvoort's just not going to be there next year.
It's gone.
Which is kind of crazy because I feel like a lot of times he also considers Austria his home race. I'm like, okay, Austria's sitting there like, hello.
Austria because of Red Bull Ring? Or do you mean the Belgian Grand Prix?
Oh, maybe I meant Belgian Grand Prix. So that, but then also Austria too, I guess, because of Red Bull.
Yeah.
It's like basically him.
He's kind of got three. They all have big Max Verstappen grandstands.
Yeah.
Yep.
And but Zandvoort's definitely the biggest.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. Oh, I bet they're going to do something special this year.
I'm going to cry.
And I'll probably cry as well. Yeah. So, oof. But this weekend we had Indycar.
Yeah.
They were up in Canada. It's the only race this year that is outside of the United States. So that's exciting. It's in a different location, so it's not far from where they were doing the Canadian race before.
In Toronto.
It's like literally, I think it's like less than like 30 miles. I think maybe I don't know what they use, but around that away from it. So it's very close, but it was a new area and it's a street course. So despite all of the time that they, had to play this out, there were going to be hiccups because it was the first time, and races take a lot of time to plan and energy.
I didn't think there were going to be this many hiccups.
No, yeah, that the amount of hiccups you have, like some things are just like, okay, like why is it not getting addressed?
I feel like, so let's kind of go back to the beginning. I feel like we didn't hear much about the race and like being put together, the setup or anything. We've been hearing a lot about another race.
Yeah,
that's fine. And then finally, I think it was literally Wednesday or Thursday night. Like Bob Bocross tweeted and was like, or I guess Wednesday, I don't know, whatever day they do the track walk, was like, no track walk is happening here tonight. Still finishing like up the track. It did not look done in the slightest. And we were like talking to our friends. We were like, oh, is that what's happening?
Yeah. It was a lot because we weren't getting any information from like IndyCar itself about the track being not complete. It's all coming from like people there working as media.
Yeah.
So like even then, like eventually it came out like the track was not finished being built, and then Friday they weren't letting like on-track action happen at the original scheduled time because they were still building the track. Crazy.
Mhm.
But like that's something that like IndyCar themselves should have probably communicated like Thursday when they definitely knew it wasn't going to be done in time for all of the fans. But apparently it was like chaos. Like we heard they were like security were letting people into the stands
Oh my gosh, yeah.
too early, but also they weren't getting tickets because there was so much confusion over, I'm assuming, like if on track stuff was going to happen. The USF 200 races, like those kept getting pushed back. The sessions kept getting pushed back. There was no on track action on Friday. Right? USF 200 didn't go until Saturday as well. Or maybe they had a late night one. But IndyCar for sure wasn't until Saturday.
Yeah.
So it was just chaos.
And like at first too, Friday morning, like they were like, okay, it's supposed to start at 3 IndyCar session. We'll push it back. We don't know when we're pushing it back to. And they're like, okay, we're pushing it back till 6. And they was like, well, actually, I don't think that's gonna work either.
Yeah. Well, and also I'm confused because Friday they also, when they finally started communicating that there were some issues, they also were like, we apologize to the fans, like free fan day or something. Like let everyone in for free on Friday. Well, I would hope so because there was no on-track action.
Yeah, no, I don't.
And that was before they were like, yeah, it's still going to happen at 6 p.m. Practice will happen. And that didn't happen at all. So like, I don't know. I feel sad for the fans that,
me too,
especially ones that made the trip to that area specifically for the race. Granted, things are out of control. Like there have been times where we've gone to like, which actually we haven't gone to a race and it get canceled for, we've never gone to like a weekend and a whole like day of racing got canceled. Like typically there's at least some sessions, but we've gone to some where we were planning on going Saturday and Sunday only. And like the Friday stuff got canceled and pushed back. Actually, twice it happened in the same month. And then I did feel a little like
very lucky.
I felt a little lucky, and also I felt a little guilty. I'm like, what energy am I putting out?
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah, that's like our villain origin story.
Maybe it was like because it was in May. What if it was like my birthday energy? Just like the stars were aligning.
Yeah. And then August, I accidentally cursed Markham with my birthday energy.
Shoot.
Let's hope it continues.
Maybe we should. Oh, I was like, wait, what? Maybe we should like combine our forces.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real. We already are.
I don't know if we can combine our forces any more than we already are.
That's a really good point.
So, but it was just like a very, very chaotic time building the track.
Yeah.
They were apparently bringing tire barriers from
Montreal,
where the F1 races happen. The tire barriers, like at one point we did see a picture, and this is like it was close to the practice session time that was supposed to happen on Friday. And I think I saw like somewhere on social media a picture of the tire barriers like set up at one of like the runoff areas, and I was like, that doesn't look safe, and it doesn't look done. Which is when I had a feeling that the 6 p.m. practice session was not going to happen.
Yeah, and I remembered like seeing a tweet too. They were like, everything's done, just waiting for inspection to pass from. Can I ask a question that I should probably know the answer to?
Let's see if I know the answer.
They said waiting for inspection to pass from the FIA. I thought we weren't FIA sanctioned.
I don't think we are. Maybe they got confused.
I don't know. But they're just like waiting for inspections to pass. And then I saw like a tweet from a different person in media that was like, this is not passing inspection. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So that had a bunch of drama. And then should we talk about the hairpin?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I will say this. My feelings going into the weekend about the hairpin and my feelings leaving the weekend about the hairpin are vastly different. So I'm going to talk through my first initial opinions and just know that I'll eat my words later.
Yes.
Not completely eat my words. I'll nibble on my words.
Sure.
It looked like it was going to be super dangerous.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was going to cause a lot of really dangerous, nasty crashes.
You know, I was looking at that. I was like, there's no way we're even having a race.
Yeah.
I mean, I was being very dramatic about it because there was already like track incomplete and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
But it was, so like typically on like hairpins, like for example, there's, you know, the Monaco hairpin or the one in Detroit where it's like, yes, it's a very, very steep like turnaround or a very quick turnaround, but there's never like just like there's always at least some track in between. between like the two corners of the like the apexes of the inside corners.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing.
No.
There was one wall that
Mhm.
separated the track, and you had to just go around it. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of. There's no way to describe this without you seeing a picture of it.
It literally just looks like a U, and the middle of the U is where the wall was.
Right.
Yeah.
And normally it's like chunkier in the U. This one, it was just a line.
Yeah.
And it did cause issues, caused many crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Not even in just in Indycar, but also in the support series.
Mm-hmm.
Many nasty crashes, but not as many like dangerous crashes. And I'm sure it's just because it was at such a low speed
Mm-hmm.
that the hairpin was happening, because you had to be at a low speed. But it required the drivers to be very professional,
Very professional,
and very aware of their surroundings.
I did think it was like, obviously, like they're doing their job well, but I thought it was like impressive while watching during the race. I don't know their maneuvers.
Yeah.
I recently played Mario Kart and I was not doing good at my turns, and I was like, I gotta like let off and whatever, and I was like, this reminded me playing Mario Kart, but they're doing a lot better.
They're doing a lot
I
better.
was like, really, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was very impressive.
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
They should pay me
For Mario Kart.
Yes.
Yeah.
4th place was my highest finish.
But it did lead to some crashes, which we'll talk about when we're talking through the race. There was like another thing during the race, is that like it was very unexpected how it happened, how the race proceeded.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into the race, though, let's talk through qualifying.
Yeah, let's do it.
So qualifying, I will say I watched the first half of qualifying, and then when it got switched over to FS2, I got kicked off. But
it's hard,
right? Kyle Collette was looking fantastic. They're actually, and I can only assume it's because experience-wise things kind of got equalized.
Mm-hmm.
But the rookies were absolutely killing it this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
All like Kyle Collette, Mick Schumacher, and Dennis Hauger all were like had really great moments throughout the qualifying session, throughout the weekend, really. Kyle Collette did fantastic during the practice session. He ended up crashing. They had to rebuild his car. And then during the qualifying session, during Group 1, round one?
Mm-hmm.
Group 1, round 1. I couldn't remember the word round.
Oh.
Group 1, round 1. He ended up running out of fuel. Obviously not, like something was wrong with the car for him to burn through the fuel so quickly. But that was really disappointing because he was doing so good.
Yeah.
And I just really want him to have like a really good result to give him like the confidence. He doesn't have a signed contract for next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think he's doing well, though.
He's doing well. I mean, he's a rookie. He's still in his rookie year. I hope he gets a seat next year.
Yeah.
So, Will Power also ended up bringing out the red flags during the qualifying session, which if you aren't, I guess, aware of this, something different between IndyCar and F1 is that in IndyCar, if you bring out the red flag during the qualifying session, your 2 fastest laps get deleted, no matter what, even if they happened already or they happen after, which basically means if you bring out the red flag during the qualifying session, you're pretty much at the back of the grid unless you happen to put together 3 amazing qualifying
the craziest
laps.
lap of your life.
Yeah. So Kyle obviously was going to be near the back after that. Will Power brings it out. He like spins. He doesn't even hit the wall. He just spins, and he can't get his car started quick enough before the red flags. It was so close too. Like it was yellow, and he was like, you can see him like trying to get going, and then it immediately turned red, and then he started going, and it's like, unfortunately, it still counts as him bringing out the red flag. So he also starting from the back. Another thing with Will Power when he brought out the flags is it did ruin Kyle's lap. And at that point, we didn't know if the session would get started in time for Kyle to put together another lap. And it was like a little bit like teammates.
Yeah.
But it was fine. A little awkward, but fine. Joseph also hit the wall. Another thing to know is with all of the sessions getting pushed back, qualifying ended up happening much later in the day than originally scheduled. And another huge issue that people were running into during qualifying is that they were quite literally being blinded by the sun.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And there was like, they would show their onboard cameras, and I'd be like, what am I looking
No,
at right
how
now?
can you see?
So I'm sure that also was not helping them like stay out of the walls. Like I don't know for sure, but like when I saw Joseph's crash, I'm like, and I saw the onboard, I'm like, well, yeah, like he could barely see.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, because he crashed, he brought up the red flag, starting near the back. Another thing that happened is Alex Palou had a moment during qualifying where he was bumping the wall and he crashed.
Rare for her.
Very, very rare.
Yeah.
But one man, not a rookie, but still very early in his IndyCar career, one man stood out during qualifying. That was Mr. Louis Foster.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Can I say?
The RLLs all amazing this weekend, especially during qualifying, they were all killing it. Mick also, like we talked about, Mick had a moment very briefly. He did have a moment in round 1, group 2. He held the fastest track lap record.
And you know what?
So let that settle in. The commentators were literally like, whoa, Mick Schumacher! Like, they were shocked. He didn't hold on to it very long because the track was evolving, and very quickly everybody else put some new records in. But he was quicker in that first round than everyone in group 1. So that was really cool. But yeah, again, all of the RLLs did fantastic. All of them were making it through to the top 12. And I think, I don't know. I just am so interested to see who is going to have a seat next year and who's not. Like, who's going to give them other chances. Like, Mick, I think, needs another year. Dennis absolutely needs another year because I still think Dennis is going to be, like, a championship leader for IndyCar. Kyle deserves another year. Like, I don't know.
I think Mick deserves another year. I feel like he
won't get it. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of as well.
About like him stacked up against Dennis and Kyle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I think also, like, this is going to sound a little harsh, but Mick's had more opportunities to prove himself, and he hasn't always been given a fair shot, but, like, you know, quantity wise, he's had more opportunities than the other two
and
to show, like, hey, this is what I can do.
I feel like I would give him like a little grace since like he was in F1, then he went to sports car, and this is his like first year back in open wheel racing. But
that was his journey, though. That was his choice to do that journey. Maybe not to leave F1.
Well,
but
yeah, I don't think it was his.
To move into sports car racing and focus on a lot of his time and energy on that. But it will be very interesting to see once we talked about this on last episode, but like once the IndyCar season's over and we start getting a lot more like seat announcements, it'll be interesting to see like how everything kind of shakes out. So, anything else before we get into the race?
No.
Okay. It was a little crazy.
It was a little crazy, and I'm going to be honest, I thought the beginning was going to be a lot more crazier than it was.
Yeah, I was fully anticipating it to be chaos from the beginning, and I think everyone was, and the drivers were, so maybe they were even just a little bit more cautious during the first couple laps, because it was like almost like close to 10 to 15 laps in that there was like no issues at all.
I sat down. Calm. Yeah, I was calm. I sat down to record my reaction.
Yeah.
I had it up and ready to go, and I was like, all right, here we go. This could be funny. Could be content. No, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. And I was like, oh, well, maybe this hairpin and this track isn't going to be as big of an issue as I was anticipating. And then one thing happens, and then it's just a domino effect. So the thing that set everything off is Mick Schumacher went into the wall.
Speaking of.
And then it was like for a good almost probably half an hour to 45 minutes, they could not restart without getting another caution that came out less than a lap and a half later.
What's that phrase?
When it rains, it pours?
Cautions breed cautions.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I thought. Sorry, I thought our brain cell was going to be synced.
I missed that.
That's okay.
But within a very quick time span, obviously Mick was out. Marcus Armstrong goes into the wall at the hairpin. When his car went into the wall, they obviously, like, the hairpin's already a really slow part of the track, and then they also had to be even more cautious because right on the other side of the hairpin was where Marcus Armstrong was crashed in the middle of. Originally, he was in the wall, and then they were trying to push him out, and then he ended up just in the middle of the track. And so that caused the drivers to have to go very slowly, and like they were like stalling. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Renus ended up like stalling a bit, and he ended up getting going, but then behind him, Scotty Mack was like behind him, and then he stalled to slow down, and then he couldn't get started. He couldn't get his car started right away. Some people were going around him, and then that led to confusion of like, oh well, he was still moving. Like, did he technically stop? Could they have overtaken him? Again, just it brought out a bunch of chaos because it happened right there. Again, quite a bit of restarts after that. Louis Foster crashes eventually, a little bit later, but still very sad.
That was like
doing so good.
Yeah, he was doing very well. It was a big bummer.
A big bummer. And I feel like Louis Foster was to 2025 as Dennis Hauger is to 2026. AKA they were like absolutely killing it in Indy next. They came in with these huge like shoes to fill. Everyone had like a lot of high hopes for him, which they're, not doing bad by any means, but like everyone was like, this person's to come in. He was winning like every other race. In Dennis's case, almost every race. In Indy next, he's gonna come in and absolutely kill it. And then he just, granted, they're coming in on these lower level teams, but still like coming in and having all of this pressure. And I think like Louis just needed like one really, really strong weekend to be like, look, like all this pressure that you be like, this is why, like I can live up to it. And he was so on his way to be like doing that this weekend. And like if he didn't crash, where would he have finished? Because he was quick.
Yeah, he was quick.
He was quick, and he felt good about the track.
And there were a couple of times where it was like, is his strategy working out? And then before he crashed, it really seemed like his strategy was it could have been good.
It could have been so good.
Yeah.
So that was really disappointing. I just felt very crushed for him. Christian Rasmussen also crashed into the wall.
Yeah, and he collided with Scott.
Yeah, with Scott Dixon. Well, and it wasn't even that. It was like Scott Dixon got bumped by someone else. I don't even remember who it was. And then Christian like ran into him because they both didn't have anywhere else to go, basically. Scott was able to get started again. Christian was not. Christian actually stayed in the wall, and he ended up getting out of the race.
Was it Nolan? What about Nolan? Remember?
No, Nolan was.
Oh, I'm forgetting.
I think that was someone else that Nolan crashed into.
Yeah, because Nolan did very well. He like got lucky at some points.
Yeah,
At one point he was just like restarting the race in the lead.
I don't remember who bumped into Scott Dixon.
Yeah, it was like
but it was really, I would say it was neither Scott or Christian's fault. And again, it's good that Scott was able to get started, but it does suck because Christian literally, he couldn't have done anything in that situation. So that's just racing sometimes, but still pretty unfortunate. Another moment later in the race, because again, after those first couple, they were able to get a restart like underway. It was clean. It was fine. And then for the most part, it was like less. There were still cautions that came up, but it was less like immediate, like after another. But later in the race, at one point, the Alexes were battling.
Yeah.
Alex Palou and Alexander Rossi were battling. And it was at the hairpin that Palou and Rossi made contact, and Alex Palou's front wing hit Alex. This is confusing because they're both Alex.
Just use their last name.
Palou's front wing hit Rossi's front tire, caused a puncture, but it was like a freak accident.
Yeah.
Like it was such a small hit that typically nothing would have come from that. But because of that, Alex Rossi did make it back to the pit, but it looked like he wasn't going to.
I know, I was scared he wasn't going to.
He was going so slow. I think if he was like any further from it, it would have been like over.
Yeah.
It would have been over for him. Alex Rossi is having some bad luck this season too.
I think just like you can say ECR as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, both, Christian was out, and the issues that they've been having with the hybrid multiple times.
The 500
weekend. His car being on fire. stopping at the start finish line twice. So you know what? And it's sad that ECR is dealing with this because again, leaving the 2025 season, I was like ECR is on like the incline. Like they from 2024 to 2025,
Yeah, absolutely.
saw a huge improvement, and then they kind of like plateaued this year. And I don't think a lot of it is in their control.
Yeah, I don't
a lot
think
of
it's
it
driver.
No, not driver. And I wouldn't even say necessarily it's fully team. I think they've just been having a lot of issues with the hybrid system.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Better luck next time.
And that's sometimes all you can say.
That's all you can say. That's all I can say.
Sometimes you just got to finish it out and then try again next year.
Yeah. But speaking of team luck, not even luck. I don't want to say luck. Just teams, unexpected teams. Dale Coyne Racing.
Yeah, Dale Coyne Racing.
They were kind of cooking this weekend.
Yeah.
Dennis was leading for a very brief time, right? Or he was up there.
Yeah, he was
near the top.
Up near the top.
And he was looking really strong. He did eventually end up tumbling down quite a bit. The standings.
That was so sad.
It was really sad because there was nothing he could do. It's like one car pass him, and then he'd have to like get into like the dirty part of the track, and then another car be like, "Let me scooch in too," and that just happened enough times that like it was like he was like grasping at straws, and it's just like
It was also happening during a restart, so it was like chaotic to begin with.
Yeah. But Romain Grosjean, kind of, I feel like he was strong. I guess he was good during quali, but he wasn't like shocking me by the laps he was putting together. But something happened with the strategy and the timing, and probably a little bit of luck with Romain this weekend. He was leading for like a really long time.
A really long time.
And like he wasn't leading with like pit cycles being off. Like he was like truly leading the race, and he had all these like big dogs behind him breathing down his neck. Like he had Kyle Kirkwood and Alex Palou and Will Power like sitting behind him, like Marcus Ericsson. And for a lot of times he kept his lead.
Yeah, for sure.
He did fantastic. And we were talking about it with our friends in like the group chat, and it's like it would have just been like so, which we did get like an unexpected winner, but it wasn't Alex Palou.
Yeah.
So it was unexpected. But it would have been like so like not even like refreshing, but just like fun to get like a Dale Coyne Racing winner.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I would have been like not even that I'm necessarily like a fan of Romain Grosjean. Like he's not what I wouldn't call him like top 5 drivers in IndyCar, but I still would have been like, I think I would have been just as happy as like if Kyle Kirkwood came home with a win.
Really?
Yeah, like I think just because it's like so unexpected and it's so like no one could have seen this coming, and I just love race wins like that.
Okay, that's fair.
So, but he didn't win. He got overtaken by Marcus Ericsson, Mr. Chicken Banana.
Mr. Chicken Banana himself.
Go ahead, tell them what you texted me during the race.
Okay, so you have, excuse me, I feel like last year you had like a newfound love, like as a fan obviously, for Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like sure, like I like Andretti, like Kyle's my favorite, like one of my top drivers. And then Chicken Banana joke happened.
Yeah.
I feel like we've explained this. If you don't know Chicken Banana, I can't even tell you an episode. Go listen because I feel like I've talked about it so many times.
Yeah.
He basically wanted to do a social media trend with a song called Chicken Banana. So we adopted calling Marcus Ericsson Chicken Banana.
It just made it easier. There's 2 Marcuses, and also like
he was so excited.
I don't think it's stuck with anybody else in the whole IndyCar community except for me and Gracie.
No, but us.
But I will still comment on Andretti's posts, Chicken Banana. And like
the new social girl has to be like, what?
She was like, what does this mean? And also like I'm just hoping that every once in a while Marcus Ericsson's scrolling through comments and sees that and goes, yep.
Yeah, I'm Chicken
Someone
Banana.
remembers.
Yeah. Obviously.
Never forget.
And today, Thursday's happening. And as you know, sometimes a driver chooses you. Sometimes a team chooses you. You don't choose them. And he was racing. And it wasn't even when he was like going to pass.
No, it was before.
Yeah.
He was really like looking like he was going to win. Too.
I mean, he was just going around the track. And I was like, what's Marcus Ericsson up to?
Yeah.
And I texted Celine and I said, I think Chicken Banana is becoming one of my favorites. And then I had to follow it up with not ironically.
Which, again, like, it's like your favorite driver kind of sneaks up on you.
Absolutely.
And you don't even like notice it until you're like sitting there and you're like, where are they on track? And you're like, I've never like went and like specifically like looked for them before in the past. And it's like, it just hits you one day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
and
what happened to me with Alex Albon as well. And Logan Sargent.
Yeah.
Back during his F1 career.
That would happen. I'm trying to think who that happened with me. I guess I was
going to say Marcus Ericsson.
I think Marcus Ericsson, that combined with the fact that like the chicken banana kind of moved me off track. And then after that, I started looking for him on track. So yeah, I guess it was kind of unexpected, but it just, sometimes they just sneak up on you. Favorite drive, like the origin stories of why people have the favorite drivers that they do is always so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like a very like specific niche story. Like for example, Pietro, my favorite driver Pietro, like that story that I feel like is kind of like random. And then sometimes it's like there's almost just no story and it's just like a feeling. You know?
Like I came in 2023 to F1 and obviously the McLarens were my favorite. I picked them well early on, but that was when Max was winning every single race. So like everybody was everywhere was like, oh, give me a break on this guy. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. I kind of like him.
I had a weird thing where I liked McLaren watching Drive to Survive because I love Danny Ricciardo. And then when I started watching, like actually actively watching, it was like almost the exact time that McLaren were like, we're getting rid of Danny Ricciardo and bringing in this other kid. And I'm like, who is this guy? And so that, like, I was like really into McLaren. And then I was like, at first I was like, no, I'm not. But then once the 2023 season started, I was like, no, I'm back on McLaren. For a brief time, I just was not. But whenever I was off of McLaren, when I first started, I was a Max fan.
Yeah.
So I was a Max fan from Drive to Survive as well, because it covered,
which is also shocking. Seasons. A lot of people watched Drive to Survive and did not like Max.
I know, and I don't know what it is because I kind of loved his energy on it.
Oh yeah,
I loved it, and I loved his friendship with Daniel Ricciardo. So,
what's crazy is I remember the exact moment because I came in. You had been sending me like F1 TikToks for ages.
Yeah.
And so it eventually came on my For You page, and then I became a McLaren fan because I saw a video of Lando surprising kids, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then you text me something about him at the Zandvoort race, and then I was like, well, I have to figure out what Lando's up to.
Yeah.
So then I tuned in, whatever. Wait, where was I going with that? Oh, I remember the exact moment because I was like, I'm a McLaren fan. And I remember the exact moment I texted you and I was like, should I hate McLaren for what they did to Daniel Ricciardo? And you were like, well, yes, but
yeah. But that was at a point where I also was already back in my McLaren era. So I'm like, it's fair of you to hate them for what they did to Daniel Ricciardo, but like, don't let that stop you from being your favorite team.
And I mean, that predated me, so I couldn't let that define my fandom.
Yeah, no, it was luckily we didn't let that deter us.
Thank goodness.
It's
a good few years after that.
But then you have like other times where like Kyle Kirkwood became one of my favorites. I guess he was already a favorite before Nashville 2024, but like being there, like with seeing his, like he just got pole. He didn't even like win the race or anything, but he literally got pole when we were there, and it was just such like a
power friendship,
and it was such a like very pivotal moment in my my love for IndyCar that like I was there for the Nashville weekend, and I was like, I'm never leaving IndyCar.
Oh yeah.
And so that happening the same weekend that Kyle got pole, I guess.
But the same thing with Kyle. And then that happened to me today with Chicken Banana. So I guess I
kind of happened with me and Colton too. I feel like one day, like I was just like watching and I was like, where's Colton at? And I'm like, oh, Colton, I love him.
Yeah.
It must be an Andretti thing.
So yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, Marcus Ericsson ended up overtaking Roman and he got the win.
Very exciting for him.
First Andretti win with IndyCar, which is crazy to think about.
Genuinely insane.
Because he's like got the Indy 500 win and then he's got this win with Andretti. Crazy how that happens. But for it to come a week or I guess like a week and a half after the announcement of his contract being extended with Andretti, I think was just beautiful.
Oh yeah, perfect timing.
Because Andretti's got to feel good being like, look, like we saw this potential, we knew he could do it, and look, he did it.
Yeah.
So I think that's great.
I would like to talk about the Jack Harvey of it all.
Okay, yeah.
Because I feel like it's become like a running bit now that they're like a driver crashes out, they send Jack Harvey their way.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, at the beginning of the year, people being like, every time something happens with Joseph, they send Jack Harvey over. Because, you know, last year Joseph had that whole thing, the whole media thing. All right, I'm not getting into it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, that made me a Joseph Newgarden fan.
Yeah.
Once again, everybody hating on him. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's give this guy a chance.
That kind of happened with you and Lance too, and you and Esteban. You like drivers when everybody else like is being mean to them.
Yeah, I like go on record. I'm not a fan of Lance anymore.
Yeah. That was before.
It was like 2024.
2024.
Me 2023. And so everybody's like, oh yeah, they're sending Jack Harvey over to Joseph, like, you know, that's the only one, whatever. And now it happens almost every time.
Yeah, and I think it honestly is because Jack Harvey is just such an like he has such a good relationship with all of the drivers outside of the track. Like they hang out, they'll go get drinks together after the race. They like get dinner together. Like they are friends outside of it. So like even though he's asking like the same questions as anybody else would be asking, like they're just more willing to put up with the questions because they love Jack Harvey. And I get it. I love Jack Harvey too.
I also think like he gets it. You know what I mean?
It. Yeah,
so
he's been
like,
there. He's a driver. He still currently drives and sometimes, but he's just like again, like he could be asking the exact same question word for word, probably even in the exact same tone. But I think because they respect him so much, they're more willing to like be like, okay, I'll give you it. I'll dig into it with you.
Yeah. I thought like I wouldn't say that they don't respect the other like pit reporters, but
I think they just respect Jack more.
Maybe.
I think like they like because I truly do.
Yeah,
think
probably.
But
it is quite funny though, because like every time it's like, oh, there goes Jack.
There goes Jack. Send Jack in.
Send Jack in.
Send in Hollywood.
It's like the I don't know why when we were talking about this in our friend group chat, the sound came into my head. It's a TikTok song that goes, "Release the baby, release Jack Harvey, let him go."
Yeah, release the baby for real.
Get to the sad drivers.
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness he's there.
I couldn't. I wasn't in the right like headspace to listen to what Louis Foster had to say after.
No,
I couldn't.
No,
sometimes I'll have to go back, obviously, but like in that moment, I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm so crushed for Louis Foster. Yeah. That's a hard one for me to swallow, I think.
Can we also talk about when Marcus Armstrong crashed? He ignored the rules and just like tried to like get himself out of it, and he tried to get himself out of it right in front of the safety car.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Hey.
Marcus Armstrong's stubborn.
He really is. He's
pretty stubborn, so I'm not shocked.
No,
by that.
Not in the slightest.
And I get it too. Like, I mean, like, no, like, don't. I can get started. I can get going. I can get going. Well, obviously, he couldn't. Obviously, but yeah, no, I get it. But I'm not surprised.
No, yeah.
Should we do our champagne pops and problems?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Who's your champagne problem?
My champagne problem is gonna go to Dennis.
Okay.
He didn't end horribly, but just where his potential was in running and then dropping like 10 spots very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to him for that. What's your champagne problem?
I'm gonna give it to Louis Foster. Yeah. Because there was so much potential, and for him to end, not even like he couldn't even finish the race. Like that's the worst. Like it'd be different if like he came in on pole and he finished in like 17th. Like that would still be really sad. But like that's rough.
Yeah, no, that's rough for sure.
Champagne pop. Chicken banana.
No, I'm gonna give it to Willpower.
I was gonna give it to Willpower.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give it to Willpower, considering the fact that he started last.
Yeah, and up to the podium.
Very, very impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
I'll do mine to chicken banana then.
Perfect.
Since was anticipating you to give it to chicken banana.
Wow.
And I was gonna give it to Will, but since you give it to Will, I'll give it to Marcus.
I give you a plot twist.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting that. Got to keep him on your toes.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Marcus Ericsson got his first Andretti win. He raced fantastic. He raced clean. 10 out of 10. Great job, Marcus.
Yep. Okay. What would you rate Markham out of 10? I have a follow-up question after that.
Like rate it as like watching it as a fan.
Watching it as a fan, what would you rate it? Yeah. Like entertainment.
I would say I would rank it like a 8.5.
Okay. Would you attend in person? Given like
Yeah.
given the fact, okay, yeah.
I wouldn't not attend any race in person though.
Okay, that's fair. Never mind.
There isn't a race where I'd say, no, I wouldn't go. Well, Mid-Ohio on a hot July day.
I was gonna say, yeah.
With no shade, maybe.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, I would like attend any race at least once.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of going back to like the whole hairpin of it all at the beginning where I said my
Mhm.
thoughts has changed. Do I think the hairpin is still kind of dangerous and scary? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It did bring some really fun, interesting moments as a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's okay for IndyCar. Anything lower than that, I would be terrified to watch them race. Like
Mhm.
Indy next, I'd be terrified. The USFG, I was terrified of that.
It was scary.
So I'm not as against it as I was at the beginning. I still don't love it, but I was okay with it.
Okay.
But I think if I was a driver, I'd be like, get rid of that.
Yeah, I'd be very curious to see what they think of it after.
Mhm.
I haven't looked at media really after.
Yeah.
So I'll be very, yeah.
Would you attend in person?
Yeah, I think so.
What would you rank it?
I am watching. A 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I also think like I really enjoyed the. Well, I don't know if enjoy is the right word. Yeah, I guess enjoy. I liked how the crowd was. I think there was a good crowd. It was a very supportive crowd.
Yeah.
When I forget who it was that got spun around and then they
Scott Dixon.
Yeah, Scott Dixon, and then he flipped himself, and the fans were going crazy.
No, and I would be if someone did one of those little flippy turns.
If Scott Dixon in front of me,
anyone, but
finish my sentence.
Is Scott Dixon in front of you? Period.
Done.
Enough said. Nothing else to add.
No, yeah. If Scott Dixon did that in front of me, I'm cheering. I'm sitting on my feet.
You're red.
I'm applauding.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, good crowd. I think that makes a huge difference, especially for it being its first year.
And like what happened on Friday,
and so much chaos for the fans being there with a good attitude, happy about the racing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a win. I think they can walk away from the weekend things to improve, things to work on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they should feel okay about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good job, Markham.
Thanks, Markham.
If you want to fly us out to the next race next year, let me know.
Could you give me a 5-month notice?
Yeah, Gracie, you really need to get your passport. People probably at home are like, this girl still doesn't have her passport. Because I feel like so many times we bring up like, oh yeah, she's got to get her passport and then maybe we'll do this, right? Yeah. Got to get that.
Yeah. I was going to set a goal for myself, but like we all know realistically. The people were like, don't even try, girl.
Yeah, they're like at home, they're like, Gracie, we know you ain't getting that passport until you need it. And just but what happens if you need it and you won't get it in time? I think we just need to like suck it up and like book an international race to where you have to get your passport.
I think that's like the ADHD in me.
Yeah.
Like
it's like the chicken and the egg. We're not going to do that again.
I think they would be pissed if we did chicken and egg again. I thought about it a lot this week. No, yeah, it's for sure the ADHD in me because like assignments in school, be like, oh no, I have 2 weeks to do it. Why would I start now? And then it's the And then I remember one time a teacher was like, "Why do you do this yourself?" And I was like, "I don't know, the pressure. Like I do my work better under pressure." And she was like, "Yeah, you know what? All right, girl.
As long as you get your work done."
And I got it done.
So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm excited. F1's back next week.
Yeah, I can't wait.
IMSA's back next week.
Mm-hmm.
They're at VIR, which I'm very excited for that race. And IndyCar's season is almost over.
Yeah.
IMSA season is only a month and a half left.
Mm-hmm.
This year of motorsport I feel like it's flown by.
No, it's like the beginning of the year. I was like, oof.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's what month? August.
Yeah.
Every time I get excited, I'm like, oh my gosh, football's starting soon. I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait to watch Bengals, like, da-da-da. And then every time I have to pause and be like, oh, the IndyCar season will be over.
Yeah. It's going to be hard. IndyCar off season is so long.
It really is.
So long. September to what? March or end of February? Like, always kind of around that. Like, that's so long.
I feel like we go weeks without, like, hearing much IndyCar news.
Yeah.
Soon. It's like, oh, man. What's going on with those guys?
Because at least like even with like IMSA, it's only October to January.
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
Crazy.
But yeah, I'm excited. But thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week talking about IMSA and Formula One at Zandvoort.
Woohoo!
See you next week.